What's going on, y'all? It's another episode of the Ears That Hear podcast. Hey! This is going to be a very interesting episode, guys. We're going to be talking about something that may be a little controversial for some of you guys, and we're for it. Here's the conversation. Christmas. The way we celebrate Christmas as Christians. Are we doing it right? Are there issues with the way that we celebrate Christmas? Are there things that we've been doing for years that we now got to kind of check ourselves and see and ask ourselves, do we have to put an end to some of this stuff? Yeah, I feel it already. It's going to be a great episode. So guys, what do you think when you think about Christmas in, December 25th? Jesus' birthday. Say that in the mic.
Jesus' birthday.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Jesus' birthday. Jesus' birthday.
Happy birthday.
We get together with our family.
Yep.
We get gifts.
Christmas tree.
We always make sure to put out the Christmas tree. Like that's a big deal.
Cookies for Santa.
Jingle
And we
bells,
gotta
yeah.
put out the cookies for Santa. And we literally even like with the kids, those who have kids, we make sure, like we tell them that you gotta be good. Why? Because if you're not good, who's not gonna bring you presents?
Santa's gonna beat you.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, like run up the kids. I forgot.
We love the stories of people's.
Yeah.
So, but we do this. Christians are doing this.
We are.
Followers of Jesus are doing this. So, is there anything wrong? Is it just been fun? Is it not something to be taken so seriously? Benita, what are your thoughts?
Oh.
Oh,
I love Christmas.
so you love everything about what we do?
No, I don't love all of it. I don't like Santa Claus. He's my enemy. I don't like him.
He's your enemy.
Why?
But I do like the Christmas season. I do think it's a very good time to come together with your family. I think it's a very joyful season. I do understand the implications of it.
Okay.
I do. But I think that
So when you say the implications of what?
What does that mean?
like the way that it started, its origins, like that kind of thing. Like I understand the argument against it. I understand it, but I do think it comes down to personal conviction because at the end of the day, the Bible doesn't say anything about it. But obviously, we can use God's word to inform ourselves, to infer different things. But when it comes to Christmas, I don't know. I kind of like Christmas.
You like it? Okay. You made a statement about arguments that people have, and maybe you're watching. You never heard the arguments against. Natalie, you want to help us out with maybe some of the arguments that people maybe you've heard or maybe you know for yourself against?
Well, she mentioned also the origins, so that's probably a good place to start. I'm not gonna pretend that I am some like expert on history and all this stuff. I know a little bit about the origins. I know it does not have its roots in Christianity. That is something that we have along the way kind of adopted as our own and made a bunch of reasons to justify celebrating it. That's what I got.
So that's what you got. Anybody want to add to that?
Yeah, so a lot of things have its origins not in Christianity that Christians do or celebrate or whatever.
100%.
I mean, Easter. Easter, I mean, I'm also not going to pretend that I'm a historian, but Easter also has its origins in paganism. And we've taken it and we've turned it into celebrating the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ, of course. And that's something we do in church. That's something we do every year. That's not something that people tend to speak out against. But it is something that we do and that we reclaim for ourselves. Or wedding rings. Egyptians used to use those. The Romans used to use those, and
we definitely don't have that in Bible.
it's symbolic. It was symbolic back then of loyalty and things like that, and love and things like that. But it's not rooted in the Bible. It's not rooted in Christianity. And
Interesting.
every married Christian wears a wedding ring, right? So
shoot.
So let, so let me ask you, to segue off of that then, what is your thoughts on this idea? Maybe then, because I've heard this argument, that they believe, or people believe, that yes, its origins were in paganism, but then that God is so powerful that he can redeem
Come on.
and claim and reclaim
That's my God.
anything that started in paganism. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Maybe Lincoln, you have thoughts on that?
Just really quickly, is he not more powerful
Oh God.
Come on.
Oh gosh.
Here we go.
in here? Come on. Is he not a god?
Hey.
You know, the world likes to distort and contort
Where's
and
the keys?
confuse.
Yeah.
the organ.
I hear it in the back of my head. And I think we serve a God. Now,
You think what?
I think we serve a God.
You think
that-
what?
We serve a God.
Okay,
Thank you
okay.
for asking me 3 times.
Yeah, yes,
I think we
yes.
serve a God who could definitely allow us to participate in something that honors him, and we be clear of conscience. That's what I personally just because I know my God. If your God can't do that, then you say that. But my God could definitely turn
Okay.
a pagan holiday into something that glorifies him.
So that's a great point on that. But
Yeah.
then what? How do we speak to the things
Yeah.
that we still do
Yeah.
within the the Christmas season
Yeah.
that is not towards God, i.e. Santa Claus, i.e.
The tree.
the Christmas tree,
Mm.
i.e. Say it again?
Elves.
The elves.
Elves.
And put that, say that in the mic. No, but it wasn't. It wasn't
He
the.
doesn't
It
like,
wasn't
he doesn't
the.
like
it-
short people.
Wow. Let me just help. Let me just help. Let me just. Let me just help out the audience. From what Benita, Raymond loves short people.
Like, I'm a short king myself. Bro. Like, stop playing.
Say it in the mic. Say it in the mic. Say it in the mic.
I'm a short king myself.
Okay,
Stop
okay,
your stuff,
okay. But yeah, but what the thing about the elves? What I would say, it's the way you said it. Though. Anyways,
Like
That's
that was
interesting.
hatred.
The elves.
anyways, but all that stuff. So
funny.
how, like, I mean, we can say
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
my God can redeem, and we can
can.
use that as a way to make ourselves feel good.
It's true.
But then if we're being honest with
Yeah.
ourselves sometimes,
Yeah.
as much as we'll say that Jesus is the reason for the season,
Yep.
it's almost like we just use it as an excuse to be like, yeah,
I want to still do
I
Christmas.
still want to do Christmas.
Yeah. That is a tricky one, if I'm honest with you, because I think I'm kind of like Benita in the sense of like the Santa part of it. I think the individual you're worshiping. Now, with that being said, I know that the tree is obviously rooted in paganism. I don't see myself not having a Christmas tree. I don't know why. Maybe it's just
And that's
the
something you gotta
cultural
ask
influence.
yourself.
And I had to look into myself a little bit. I haven't done that.
And are
as
you willing?
deeply. I am willing.
Are you really though?
Am I willing to not?
Are you
have
really
Christmas?
though? Are you
Am I-
really though?
Am I willing not to have a Christmas? Now, on my Christmas tree, there's bare Christmas Christian ornaments.
Right.
We have, Mary's in there with the baby, and it's the black ones. It's not just the white ornaments.
Oh my God.
It's the real people. It has to make it better. It has to make it better.
Yo.
I'm joking a little bit, but like, I think there's aspects of Christmas that we can say this is to honor God. I think there's other things where people put too much. I think it's the idolism as well.
Right.
I think people idolism is that a word? Idolatry. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I think what you say? We actually moved on from it. And you went back. I think there's things that you can idolize.
that works. Idolize.
Hey, big bro, come on now.
I slowed down.
That's in a chokehold right now. That word's whooped into you.
No, I think there's things that we focus too much on.
Okay, I hear you. So
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
but again though, if we're focusing, like, if hold I'm gonna get my thoughts out.
Yeah.
But if we're focusing on, like, we're saying that it's about Jesus, but then we make it about all these other things. Is
Yeah.
it really about Jesus?
Can I-
And then, yeah, okay, Natalie wants to speak to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So I had a little bit of an issue with what you said about God redeeming things because
Okay.
yet like can he redeem, like, yes, he's a redeemer, it's in his nature.
Yes, it is.
But does he want to redeem something that has its roots in paganism? Does he want to be associated with pagans?
Well, we look at
Sorry, like,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Well, we look
Yeah.
at hip hop music. A lot of people would say that isn't for the church because that is something that the devil has a control over. And now we have Christian hip hop artists that are taking over the world. And I think it's the same concept that people see. I wouldn't necessarily say that hip hop originated in Christianity, but I have seen people come to Christ from that medium. And I also know that Christmas is a season, it's usually either a very sad season or a very happy season, where people that don't even know Christ are coming to church.
And that's great. However, God can use anything to reach anyone.
Absolutely.
I won't argue that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would agree that he would necessarily want to become one with Christmas.
I hear that.
Like-
Can I give Bible or do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
So Romans 14 verse 1 says, ChatGPT, do not pass judgment on one another. ESV, by the way. As for the one who is weak in faith, welcome him, but not to quarrel over opinions. One person believes he may eat anything, while the weak person eats only vegetables. Let not the one who eats despise the one who abstains, and let not the one who abstains pass judgment on the one who eats, for God has welcomed him. Who are you to pass judgment on the servant of another? It is before his own master that he stands or falls, and he will be upheld, for the Lord is able to make him stand. One person esteems one day as better than another, while another esteems all days alike. Each one should be fully convinced in his own mind. The one who observes the day observes it in honor of the Lord. The one who eats in honor of the Lord, since he gives thanks to God, while the one who abstains in the honor of the Lord, gives thanks to God. For none of us lives to himself, and none of us dies to himself. For if we live to the Lord, and if we die to the Lord. So then, whether we live or whether we die, we are the Lord's.
This 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 is the exact scripture that I was also going to bring up.
Oh,
So I think Benita already said it, but I think it's not necessarily a matter of should we celebrate or should we not celebrate, because each one of us is walking around with our own convictions. I'm convicted in a certain way, so I'm gonna make my decisions based off of that. But not everyone may have those same convictions, and I don't think that it's obviously not a salvation issue.
yeah.
But as long as we're each going according to our own convictions, then I'm happy with that.
But I mean, to come back to your point, we have made it into something that it should not be, right? And the entire world does it. So it's not, I don't even think the average person, if you go to someone in the street and ask them, what do you think Christmas is about? They're not going to say it's about Jesus. Like, people have that understanding. But at the end of the day, it's the season where you get a bunch of gifts and, there's Christmas lights and whatever. And we haven't really taken it on as celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. And some churches do it, some churches don't. But it has become a symbol of consumerism and buying things. And I do think it's a good time for people to come together, and families do come together during that time. But in general, I don't think us as Christians have done a good job of actually centering Christ during that season.
So that's the question I wanted to bring, or I want to pose this to you guys. So if we look at it, the fruit that has come out of
Yeah.
even us wanting to redeem it for God,
Yeah.
can we look at that and say that God is now pruning that fruit? Because if anything, that's about when we abide in Him, it's going to bear much fruit.
Yeah.
Apart from Him, He's going to cut that bad boy off. Can we, looking by the fruit of how Christmas has kind of gone about for the how many years we've been doing it the way we've been doing it?
Yeah.
Can we look at that and say that God is blessing
In
this
some
thing?
aspects, yes, because I've seen a lot of, the food banks will do a whole thing Where we have Christmas Day dinner. You can come and you can eat. Churches do that. We're opening our church. You can come and you can eat. People invite people to their homes. My home is open. It's Christmas. I know some people are alone. In that aspect, I do think that it does bear fruit.
100%.
But in the grand scheme of things, the holiday season, the Christmas season, that's not what they're making ads about. They're not telling you to open up your home to somebody. They're not telling you about the birth of Jesus. They're telling you to buy things for your children. So
Which is, Raymond speak. While Raymond's speaking, Lincoln, do me a favor, because I know you love ChatGPT. Can you search up?
oh shit.
He loves ChatGPT.
Why is that something
Why'd
we
you
have to
say
say
that?
though? Why can't I just be
My
smart?
bad, guys.
Thank you, man.
My
I
bad.
just like
I'm
to
sorry,
research
Lincoln.
stuff. And ChatGPT is a helpful tool to
Yes,
do that.
yes. Can you research how much people actually go into like really bad debt or something along those lines? Debt.
Why are we doing that?
I'm just want to say that
The
because we
fruit of
make
Christmas.
That's not the fruit, that's the opposite of fruit.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh,
that's the point. But anyways, go Raymond.
okay.
I didn't actually grow up celebrating Christmas, to be honest.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was Christian my whole life. Like I didn't have a tree. We didn't have lights.
Really?
We didn't do Christmas. No, we
Why did you
didn't.
say
Why
that
are you
before?
silent?
I like to listen. I soak things in. Like I didn't. I
That's
don't.
so strange.
I did not be raised in a home where we celebrate Christmas. That wasn't a thing for us. For
Interesting.
sure.
I did not know this, and I've known your family.
Wow.
Yeah. Like we don't. Christmas is not a thing. It's been a thing now. With
not
the grandkids, more or less.
Go to bed.
Not even that. we go to like family's houses. We do the church thing. Like it's just like a Christian like.
Okay.
It's not a pagan thing at
Christmas
all.
service.
Yeah, Christmas service, dinner. Maybe we
Christmas
might do
service.
gifts. Like you know what I mean. But it's not no Christmas tree. It's not the whole Grinch and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Why do you do presents?
Up until I was like 7 or 8, I got presents.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
doesn't know
My
he
parents
Oh, fair
wanted to buy me a gift,
enough,
bro.
fair enough.
Like, you know. But yeah, when I was like 9, 10, I didn't get gifts up until like even now, right? Guess it. Some trauma in there, huh? I'll know later. But honestly, my perspective of Christmas right now, I think it is one of the very few days of the year where people actually say the name Jesus. People that don't go to church.
Yeah.
Silent night, holy night. So again, I think God is able to redeem Christmas. People make it a big thing to go to church.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Between Christmas and Easter,
Redeem is a strong word.
okay, for sure.
What do you you break it down for me, because when you say redeem, like
Use.
I have
You
been
can use.
redeemed
Yeah, for
by
sure.
the blood of the Lamb. But
Amen.
what do you
Come
mean
on.
when like did God redeem Christmas?
Yes, and that's I'm kind of going there, but go on.
Yeah, I think Christmas can be used to glorify God for sure. As anything else, obviously, right now I think we're kind of having a conversation of like overlapping how the world does Christmas and how the church does Christmas.
Yeah.
I haven't never really seen a Santa like glorified in a church. I mean, I'm sure churches do that stuff. Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I think as Christians, I think we do a good job of giving Jesus glory on Christmas.
It's a good point.
Churches do host service Christmas Eve.
They do.
Going into it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the kids do their little plays.
They do their plays, like you know what I mean. I think Christians do a great job of glorifying Jesus.
Absolutely. I actually want to. I have that thing for you. Those numbers. But before I say that, though, there are books in the Bible. We talked about this a little bit on one of the podcasts. But there are books in the Bible that don't say anything about God. That don't say anything. But there are books in the Bible. Esther.
There's one.
That's a book. And Song of Solomon. Song of Solomon.
Really?
And Ruth, I think.
No.
Don't
Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll scratch that one.
I thought it was just one.
It says, ChatGPT says Songs of Solomon and Book of Esther. I know for a fact Esther, so let's just go Esther. And in that book, it always confused me why this would be a book in the Bible that doesn't talk about God unless the life of Esther itself glorified God and said enough about God where they were able to put it in us and we're able to learn from it. So even people that go to church, and let's say their church does have a Santa Claus, or let's say weird things like that. I know Christian churches around us that have Christmas trees inside the church and like presents under the tree and everything. And even having that stuff is a little bit weird because that's not the goal, but if we're still having, sorry for yelling, but if we're still having the conversation where this atmosphere makes you want to give, it makes you happy or it makes you joyful, those are the fruits of the Spirit. And if you come into a space, if you're let's say you're Christian parents, but you're atheist or you don't really have a relationship with God, but you know every Christmas you have to be in your parents' house because this is Christmas time. This is the season for giving, the season for family. Like these are things that I think God does value, and I think He does get glory from that. And I think all good things come from God. So I would say that definitely God redeemed it. I don't think man has the ability to redeem anything. I think it has to be the Spirit of God that does good in us ever.
Not to go against it,
Crazy.
but to like, I think what you're kind of saying is like, almost like there's fruit in Christmas, so it's enough to be a good person. It has to be centered in Christ.
Okay, I hear you.
Because you're saying that there's fruit in Christmas. People that don't go to
Because
church
they gather,
might
they come,
might
Yeah.
break bread together. So it's like not enough to just be a good person,
For sure.
or to
That's
have
true.
fruits.
That's
There's no
true.
fruits without the Holy Spirit. You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
So it's like,
Yeah.
But Esther, okay.
I'm really struggling with this whole redeem thing because because to redeem something like it has specific implications. Whether he's using it to glorify him, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But to actually redeem it, that's like I'm struggling to come to
So
an
I
agreement
would,
with that.
I'm just gonna say, I'm there. I don't think he's redeemed it. I think that I think God has the ability that what the enemy is meant for evil, He can turn it
Yeah.
for good for those who
Yeah.
are His kids.
Yeah.
What does
It's
redeeming?
more like that.
And so
What's the difference between that and redemption?
redemption is like, it's totally been like, there's nothing that's coming in between that. It's like, it's totally now His.
Okay.
It's-
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
more
totally
like-
now His.
Okay.
And so
And I don't think he would do that because why? Would he do that with
it's like
any
I'm
of the
competing,
other
like I gotta like
pagan-
show that I need that. I don't, he doesn't need like something that the world already thought was
Also-
great and now make it
I don't think
his
the
own.
pagan argument holds though.
What pagan argument?
that it's like
That Christmas is rooted in paganism. I don't think it holds, to be honest.
What do you mean?
In what
You don't
sense?
think it's rooted in
I
paganism?
think it is, but it's the idea that we shouldn't do anything that's pagan, because even you just on Sunday had shared that the way that we do church
Yeah.
started off in paganism.
Sunday worship was literally they use Sunday to worship a sun god.
So if we do talk about paganism, we can't celebrate birthdays. We can't do anything like that. You know what I mean? We talked about wedding rings. I proudly wear mine. You know what I mean? It's that rooted in paganism, so I not wear it anymore. So I think the idea of like, I don't like talking about personal convictions, because I do think we all should have.
I think that's a personal conviction, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
What exactly?
All those different things. I think you, if you get convicted to say you don't want to celebrate birthdays,
Yeah.
then that's on you.
For sure, but
Between
that's,
you and
that's
God.
the idea that we shouldn't. I'm trying to go back to the idea that we shouldn't do anything that's pagan, though.
yeah.
Okay.
So people are saying we shouldn't do anything that's pagan.
Yeah.
We do so many things that are pagan.
Yeah.
I hear that. I think the biggest issue. What's wrong?
Lincoln is dying. Some I did.
Okay, you can.
What's
So-
wrong, Lincoln?
Benita just said,
What did Benita do? What did Benita do?
you said if that's your conviction where you can't, like, you don't celebrate birthdays, but you said, wow, you can't even grow up. So stupid.
Nah, Benita needs to chill. Yo, you're dumb.
There's somebody out there.
Was that on the mic?
Yeah, it was in the mic. That's how I'm dying.
Oh, he said it in the mic.
Yes.
And we're over here trying to be serious.
Serious.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh man.
Can
I
we
didn't-
collect ourselves now?
Yeah.
Because I was going somewhere with that.
Okay, yeah. Let's go.
Got it.
So yes, I hear the pagan thing, and I think I would agree with that to an extent. My biggest issue, I think, with Christmas is that they make it about here we go again, about birthdays, the birth of Jesus, when that was never mentioned, celebrated once in the
He was actually born
Bible.
in April.
And but not only it's not
It's
only
March,
that,
right?
it's
It's
not
March,
only the
beginning
fact
of
that it
April.
was
Around that time.
omitted. It's the fact that we are called to remember his death. So now we've made the biggest part of our year is about celebrating the birth of Jesus, when we're actually supposed to be remembering and celebrating his
Rejoicing.
death and carrying
But we do
around
that
his
at
death.
Easter.
I'm not saying we don't do it, but let's be real. Christmas
The biggest
compared to
Easter?
Easter, yeah,
Yeah.
or like that time of year, like there's a
Would you be
vast
happier
difference.
if Christmas was more focused on the death of Christ?
Well, that would be a little bit weird because we already have Passover and Easter. I mean, like, I don't mess with Easter really either because again, it's a Passover.
Yeah.
So we already have that. So it wouldn't really make sense to do that.
Is the
at
Passover and
Christmas.
Easter the same thing? Why is Passover and Easter
No,
the same
it's
thing?
an actual time. So if you know Easter and
Yeah.
the story, the Passion story,
Yeah.
it comes off the heels of Passover.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's my biggest issue I think with Christmas is that we make it about the birth, and it's almost like we just like okay, how, like Christians, like how can we make this our own? Like what can we do? Oh, let's celebrate the birth of Jesus. Like,
Sprinkled it on top, huh?
yeah, and it's like that. I personally I can't take that lightly because it's in this time until he returns. It's all about his death. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
I think we're gonna end right there. Really, I know we've been talking about Christmas and making about how we should celebrate Christmas or not. But I think the biggest thing that we got to be asking ourselves is, what is it that God is saying to us personally, and developing our relationship with God personally. Forget everything that you've grown up on, people that are around you and what they say. What is God saying to you? Because at the end of the day, your walk is your walk with Christ. When you get before him, you're not going to be able to go, he's going to ask you questions. You're not going to be able to say, well, I did this because of such and such and such. No, he's not. He's going to be like, no, not, and then ask you about what such and such did. I asked you about what you did. And so as he's been speaking to you, or as he continues to speak to you, what is it that God is saying to you? And let that be what makes your decisions as it relates to all the things that you do. All right? If you've enjoyed this conversation, if you want to challenge any of the things that we've said, if you want to add anything to what we've talked about, we want to encourage you to do so. We love it. You know, if you want to blow up our comment section, we welcome it. And so just down below, make all the comments that you want to make as well. If you haven't subscribed, like what the heck are you doing, man? You got to subscribe right now. Subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. All right. Last but not least, if you are in the Toronto area, specifically the eastern part of Toronto, in the Ajax, Durham area, these are conversations that we have all the time here at Limitless Church, and we want to invite you to be a part of them face to face. And so if you want more information about Limitless, you can check us out on our Instagram at LimitlessGTA, or check us out on our website, www.limitlessgta.com. That concludes today's episode of the Ears That Hear podcast.